Good afternoon. I am very disappointed. We went through a process earlier this summer prior to hiring Mike Babcock as our head coach, but we got it wrong, and that's on us. I can promise you we will learn from this moving forward. I also understand the criticism that we are getting. It is deserved, but all we can do now is learn from it and do everything we can to help our coaches and players get ready for the season. My excitement about our team and what we can accomplish this season has not changed, and we are looking forward to going north. We understand the expectations of ownership, and we will continue to be evaluated every day. That's part of the job. We understand that, but our focus right now is on our players and our coaches and getting ready for this season. I know this is a major misstep that we have to move past. I would like to thank the NHL, and I would like to thank the NHL Players Association. When we first heard of these issues, when we had discussions with both of those groups, we welcomed an investigation. They were very transparent with the information we received, and we digested the information, and from there, in talking with Mike Babcock, we decided there was no going back. The resignation went forward from that point on. We're coming into camp healthy. We have added quality players to our team. We have built a deep and talented group of prospects. We're excited about this team and where we're headed. We have to get through this situation. On a very personal note, this is one of the toughest times I've been a part of in my long dealings and career in the National Hockey League. It's very troubling for me, but we also know and firmly believe that we have a good group. We care about our people. We care about our staff. We've learned a lot as a group. We've learned a lot to help us go forward, and I plan on going forward. Thank you.
This morning I had a meeting with the players, and I apologized for any inconvenience, awkward situation that this may have put them in, and it was my sincere apology to them. I'm extremely disappointed by what has transpired over the last week. We understood the dynamics of hiring Mike before we did so, and understand the criticism now that it didn't work out the way we had planned. Mike was hired based on personal relationships we've had with him, the feedback we'd received from numerous people in the game that we know and respect, and extensive conversations with Mike. It's obviously fair to question our due diligence, but I can assure you that it was done thoroughly. At the end of the day, I believe that Mike Babcock deserved another opportunity to coach. Obviously, that was a mistake, and that responsibility is mine. I do not believe there were any ill intentions on Mike's part in the way he conducted interviews with our players to get to know them. However, whether there was intent or not, some of our players weren't comfortable with his methods, and that was concerning. As we gathered information and had numerous discussions, both internally and externally, it became very clear that the distractions caused by this were too great and were having a negative impact on our players. As a result, we came to a conclusion with everybody involved in the process that the best course of action was for Mike to step down and Pascal Vincent to take over as the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Our organization's built on values that we take very seriously. We value hard character and attitude with the emphasis on pride, professionalism, and respect. These are the ideals that guide how we operate on the ice, in the community, and in everything that we do. We are committed to doing the best we can and doing things the right way to represent our organization, city, fans in a manner that earns their respect, trust, and support. Nothing is more important. We believe our players and everyone else inside and outside our organization should be treated with respect all the times. Failing to live up to that standard is not acceptable. Are we perfect? No. Can we do better? Yes, and we will. Pascal is prepared for this opportunity. He has earned it. While the circumstances are less than ideal, he is a very good coach, and nothing should detract from that. He was a strong candidate as we went through the process and looked at earlier this year, and we are fortunate to have him in a position to lead our team. And just like JD said, that, and I told this to our team too, that for a little while this is the most excited that I've been going into the training camp, and it's sad that we're here talking about this and disappointing obviously, but there's a lot of excitement inside the locker room to put this past us, move forward, and stick together and make us a stronger team.
Okay, with that, if you have a question, I'll ask that you raise your hand and we'll get you a mic. Start with Aaron Portzline, second row.
Thanks, Todd. A question for both of you. How difficult do you think it will be for the room to move past this? I guess this could go one of two ways. It could galvanize a group or it could fracture a group. Can you have a sense coming out of your meeting today which direction that is right now? Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I had a meeting with the leadership group yesterday separately and then with the whole team this morning, and I believe that they are ready to move past this. They want to move past this. They want to use it as something that can make us stronger. They're all excited about this year, and you know, I just before coming here talked to our captain as well. They all want to move forward and just concentrate on what we're here to do, and that's starting tomorrow with the medicals, or Wednesday with the medicals, and Thursday on the ice.
Clay Hall.
Were you surprised by his protocol with the phone? Had you ever heard of something like this?
Yeah, and I went through it with myself too. That was his way of introducing his family, having me introducing my family to him. And personally, I had no problem with it, but I can understand that it can put somebody in an uncomfortable and awkward situation.
How did the NHLPA motivate? Did they come to both of you and say, "Hey, you got a problem"?
Oh, what happened was the PA came in, talked to their players privately, which is absolutely their right. They were in touch with Gary Bettman. They had been in touch with me too, and I helped facilitate making sure this is happening the right way. We're completely open, transparent, want it done properly. I got a call when we were up in Traverse City at our rookie tournament from Gary Bettman. Actually, I was in a restaurant, and I went up running out and sat in the car by myself. There was Gary and his whole staff, including Bill Daly, on the call, and there was the PA staff on the call. And they filled me in with what had transpired through their investigation. And with that, I went to Yarmo and our group, Mike Priest, who represents our ownership, and we started the process of what we were going to do. We had to digest it, figure it out. And with that, Yarmo ended up meeting with Mike Babcock, and basically there was going to be no end to this. This is what we had to do, and the resignation process started at that point. That's the exact traffic.
There's no way to resolve it, in other words.
No way to resolve it. No, we felt it. We. This is going to sound a little bit. He was a player. I was a player.
Right.
We have to understand our players, and it wasn't going to work with our players. It just wasn't going to work. So we had to go forward.
Go to Brian Hedger, center back.
Either one of you can answer this one. Since this has come out, you've had multiple players, I believe 3 players, Zach Boone and Johnny Gaudreau come out and say they had no problem with the method. Yarmo, you just kind of mentioned it as well. So obviously somebody had a problem with this. Are you guys under the belief that it was more of a perception of how that was done, or was it done differently with different players, if I am making myself clear?
Well, I really don't know, because what happened with the PA and the players is their business. I do know that when the whole thing broke, Boone Jenner was very upset that it broke the way it did, and he put a statement out on his own. There's been some perception out there that we had something to do with this stuff. We didn't. Zero, zippo, nothing. And Boone maybe felt that nothing bothered him. It went swimmingly. Other players may have had different opinions, and obviously did. So that's how it works. And when you think of a hockey club with 23, 25 guys, everybody's a consideration. And with that being said, we made our decision and did what we did.
You know, one more follow-up on this. There are multiple reports out there of a young Blue Jackets player in a meeting with Babcock, and Mike Babcock is holding his phone for several minutes, maybe up to 10 minutes. Do you feel like that is appropriate, I guess, in that setting?
I don't feel it would be appropriate, but I don't know what happened. We've never been told that. I have no idea.
And next we'll go to Whitney in the front row.
Jarmo, you mentioned you apologize for any awkwardness or anything that the players may feel. Is there any concern, and this is, I guess, for both of you, how maybe this was reported, like whichever younger players felt uncomfortable that it didn't maybe go through, like they didn't go to Boone, or maybe they didn't come to you guys. You guys have more information than we do, but is there any concern with that communication?
Yeah, over the years, I've been here now for 10 years, and I've had numerous players come to me with some of the problems they may have on the ice, off the ice, with their families, different things. It's a complex relationship with the management and the player. It isn't always comfortable for them to come to me with their problems. We may be in the middle of a contract negotiation or something, and then they don't want to let me know that they're having problems. I'm just making it up, but that's one thing I mentioned to the team too, that I want to keep building a relationship with the players, that they can trust us and always come to us in any situation, how difficult it may be, and trust us that we always have their best interest in heart, and we'll help them no matter what it is. And I have that relationship with many of the players that I've worked with in the past that are not playing anymore. And I have a few of them on our staff, actually. I take pride in that. I worked in scouting and drafting and developing those players, so I felt that relationship was always important, and not just to care about the player and the athlete, but the person as well. But it is a complex situation. It is not as simple for the players to always be honest about how they're feeling or what's going on in their lives, and show, I guess, vulnerability to us that are in this position to decide about their future in hockey, and that makes it difficult.
And JD, you mentioned that you were both players. You have a very young core with this team. Is that something that, seeing the change that hockey is maybe going through with some of these younger guys, you can't coach them the way or interact with them the way they used to? Was that something that you guys are still like learning and considered here?
I think with hockey clubs, when you have 25 players on your team, whether they're raw rookies or older fellas, everybody's got a different personality. And you watch for that, you try to deal with it. And I know that obviously times change, you try to evolve. I'm a bit older now in this business, but I do have children, I have grandchildren. And I see how it all operates. I try to watch it. I try to learn, actually, to be honest with you. And that's something that we have to keep evolving with. Whether it's our training staff and how they deal with the young players with injuries, it's the coaches and how they deal with them. It's everything. And we're responsible with learning that part of it. We're responsible with the evolution of the young player of today, which is different than back when I played, obviously. Actually, maybe in some ways, no, we had problems back then too. We really did. But it's certainly, again, it's on us, it's on me to evolve with this, to learn, to go forward the right way. And that being said, it's to do with total respect for the players.
Nicole here on the left.
So JD, you said we got it wrong and this was a major misstep, but this was something that was kind of clear from the beginning, that the potential for there to be a problem was here as soon as Mike Babcock's name was floated. People felt this was a very controversial hire and that the potential was greater for there to be a problem than for it to go smoothly. Now in hindsight,
Yeah.
how would you respond to the fans, to the media? There were a lot of people who said this was not the right thing for the Jackets to do at the time. How do you respond to them now?
Maybe they were right. It's on us. It's on me. And I respect opinions around. We did a lot of research. When we went through this process, Mike came into Columbus 2 or 3 different times and came to my home and with our group, and we went through a lot of different things. And sometimes you just flat out make a mistake. We made a mistake. I'm free to sit up here and tell you that. And to our fans, I think some were excited, some were going, ooh, what's this going to be about? It didn't work. I think as a group we owe them the explanation and apology, but we're also very comfortable in going forward with Pascal. Once we get through this, he's a good coach. He's a terrific human being. So we have to look in that direction. We've learned. There's nothing more than I can say that we've learned.
Go to Clay Hall.
Ownership put out a statement here in the last half hour or two. Did they discuss possible changes in the front office to either of you? And have you been put on some kind of notice that we can't be here again?
Very, very fair question. I think what's happened here is we've had discussions with our ownership, who was very supportive, and it was revolving around our goals for this season. And we need to make a major improvement compared to a year ago with all the issues we had, and I think we still can. And so I believe that the ownership is in a situation where they believe that, and it's on us to prove it. So we're going into this season, we need improvement, we need to show that our young people that we have, our healthy people that we have, everything from A to Z is going to go in the right direction, and we appreciate the support.
But primarily with the win-loss record.
Yeah, it has to do. We're in the win-loss business, and that's what it has to do with. But I also, you know, when you think of hockey and sports and win-loss, it's very interesting because, and I've mentioned it, I don't know how many times when we've been involved with press conferences, that we try to make Columbus a better place, and that's always been a mandate from ownership. This is a big bump on the road, a big bump, big pothole, whatever you want to call it, but we're still going to make Columbus a better place. Our staff, our group, our players, people in the business side, they're constantly in the community building parks or meeting with people or helping the people that need help, kids all over the place, the rinks they've built. It goes on and on and on. I'm not going to let this get in the way of the Blue Jackets organization continuing to make the greatest Columbus area a better place. It's something that's very important to the ownership, and it's really important to me.
Go Dave, right in the front center.
Obviously, the season starts in a month here. I'm curious, how much do you think this is a setback for the team? How do you just move forward for both of you, kind of knowing that you've got to take the ice for training camp in 2 days?
Players love to play hockey. I think they love to put this behind them and move forward and get to do again what they love to do, is get on the ice and compete and win hockey games. That's what they're focused on. For their own careers and for the sake of the team, and based on my conversations, they're really looking forward to just moving on and getting on the ice.
How did that? Oh, sorry.
Quick follow up, and we've got time for 3 more. So,
How did that conversation go with Pascal? Obviously, you had the meeting with Babcock. He resigns, and then how did you guys come to deciding on Pascal?
Well, he was the perfect choice. He was very close to our first choice anyway. He's been with our organization now for 2 years. He was interviewed for the head coaching position 2 years ago, and we were very impressed with him. Hired him as an associate head coach at the time, and he's a perfect continuation to what's been a long-term plan all the way.
okay, we'll go to Aaron Port's line.
Yarmo, with Pascal elevating to the head coach's job, Do you need another assistant, and will you hire from within for that job?
We've had discussions about that, how to round up the group, and we will continue to have that with Pascal and see what our best options are and move forward from there.
And JD, for clarity's sake, the phone call from the NHL and the NHLPA in Traverse City, what date was that, Friday or Saturday?
I believe it was Friday. I believe. It's kind of a fog, to be honest. I believe it was Friday. And we immediately met with our group and with our ownership through Mike Priest, and we got heavily into discussions, even though we had discussions prior just because it was bubbling. But you've got to wait for the investigation to finalize, and those people did a good job with this. They did a good job in helping us.
Next, go back to Mike A. Race.
John, if I'm hearing you correctly,
Oh, there you are, sorry.
you're saying you don't know what he did.
I think that what is fair to say is he's made players very uncomfortable. And we just can't continue with that happening. Pardon me?
You're not exactly sure how? Is that what you...
You know, sometimes when things happen, there's players involved, and that's a private world. And sometimes you need to leave it there. But I do know that there was things that happened, and it's led to this point where we're at right now.
His contract going to be honored, or is there show cause grounds within that allows you to terminate it?
Yeah, we've had discussions. We've come to an agreement, and we'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Last question will go to Mark Scheig, the second row right.
Guys, what do you feel like that you learned about the vetting process that you'll do differently in the future to make sure that you have everything kind of in a row when you have big decisions to make?
I really felt that we talked to enough people with credibility and people that were respected in the hockey world. Probably extend that and do even more of that. But as I mentioned in my statement, that I can assure you that the due diligence was thorough in talking to several different people in different positions who would work with him as players, as management, as coaches in different settings too, from the national team to National Hockey League to junior years to American League team. So we felt we were thorough, but we're going to be more thorough.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, hello, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank the McConnells, the ownership group, Mr. Priest, JD, Yarmo, for this opportunity. It's been a difficult few days, don't get me wrong. And we've been facing some adversity. And as a team, as a person, as a coach, what do? You face it and you move on. And that's what we intend to do. We're going to move on. I know our players have been working extremely hard this summer. I know what we did as coaches. And our focus right now is we're looking ahead. What can we do today to get ready for tomorrow? And we're going to be ready for Thursday. We're going to be on the ice Thursday, and we're going to get going. And that's our plan. Our plan is to be a highly competitive team that will be working extremely hard, but also we want to make sure that our fans are proud to be Columbus Blue Jackets fans. And that's it. We're going to stick to the process. We're going to move forward, and we're excited to be here, really excited. It's been hard, but we got to focus on the moment and tomorrow and getting ready for training camp. We're going to be ready.
First question, go to Aaron Portzline in the second row on the right.
First of all, congratulations, Pascal. How big is your task to make sure that the room is galvanized? Did you feel like you're already there, or is there more work to be done in making sure that everybody here, the players, some of who apparently had a different feeling about their interactions with the previous coach, there could be differences of opinions here. How do you make sure everybody's on the same page and all pulling in the same direction?
Well, the advantage that I have is I know those people, right? I've been with them for 2 years. I know they care. They really care about the team. They're not happy about the last year and our results. We have a good room. We really do. And the team concept is not an issue whatsoever. They really care about that team. So to me, that's not an issue at all.
Go back. Brian Hedger.
Over here. Congrats, Pascal.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, you had a chance to work a little bit with Mike Babcock in the offseason, I would think, at least going over maybe some concepts or things, or maybe not, but I'm assuming not. What was your experience, I guess, like here? Did you guys, as a coaching staff, kind of know how Mike was going about these interviews with players? As far as
Listen, I can only speak to you about my interactions with Mike, and I'm going to leave it at that. It was, we had a good relationship. Mike Babcock is a good hockey coach. We've met a ton this summer, and we've been through a lot of scenarios as far as systems and the mindset behind how we're going to approach this season. So a lot of work has been done. My interactions with Mike were great. Never been an issue. But I can only talk to you about my personal experience.
And quick follow-up to that would be, I guess technically you're the third head coach that this team has had within less than a year. Every coach has their own, spin on systems and structure, like you just mentioned. Do you anticipate kind of going forward with some of that stuff that you were working on this summer, or is it going to be kind of new stuff for the guys? I mean, kind of what do the guys expect when they show up?
So that's what we did this summer. We went over all the systems and stuff, and that's where we got along really well. Mike and I, his vision of how the game should be played, and mine, they align. So there's going to be some changes. What you've seen last year and how we play, we're going to tweak quite a few things. It's going to look different.
Adam King with 10 TV. You say it's been a couple difficult days, but you're now the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets. What have these days been like? I mean, obviously, this was a goal of yours to get here. How have the past couple days been?
It's been difficult. Listen, I've been working 30 years to be a coach in the National Hockey League. It's been a long process. But what I'm good at is I'm a team player, and I care about people. And once I signed in as an associate coach, I was an associate coach, and I tried to do my best, and I did my best. So to see the things that are happening and what the organization is facing, it's hard. Once you're a Blue Jacket, you're a Blue Jacket. It doesn't matter what your role is, you're part of it, and you try to do your best, and you try to help people and be the right person for the players. So it's been a hard few days, and then it settles in. And then, like I said, my focus is, okay, what do? We focus on tomorrow. We make sure that we're ready. And the players, I know them. They deserve for the coaches to be ready for training camp, and we will be.
You think about a lot of coaches want to have an entire summer as the head coach, maybe longer. How much of a setback do you think you have knowing you have 1 month to get this team on the ice?
Well,
ready
we've
to go?
been working hard all summer. We're ready. Like, we're going to tweak a few things, but a lot of things that we've done all summer as a coaching group, we're going to keep. So it's the transition is going to be seamless.
Whitney, go ahead.
Whitney Harding, NBC4. Pascal, congratulations.
Thank you.
For those who don't know you, what kind of a head coach can the fifth line expect from you?
I'm highly competitive. That's one thing. But I know that the process is that's what's going to bring wins at the end of the day. So I'm really focused on the process, but in a simple way. Let's put it this way. If they work hard or the players work hard, that's going to be easy for them. If they don't, then we'll have some chats. But we're going to be working hard. We're going to be fast. We're going to be structured. We're going to be disciplined. And then we'll deal with the issues one by one, and we're going to stay in the moment. That's my approach.
You've mentioned that you know these guys.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of this has just been a question of communication, understanding. How are you going to keep that communication open? Maybe make it more open than what it was before. Make it so players feel good about coming to you if they have issues or things like that.
Yeah. Well, it's our job to make sure they feel comfortable in order to do that. But we have that connection with the players, and I'm talking. Like we have a lot of people that are supporting us, and the coaching staff, and Steve McCarthy and Jared Bull and all those guys. They have really good relationships with the players. I do as well. So I think is the one thing that we need to do is we have a plan. We're going to agree on a plan, and we're going to evaluate the players on those concepts. And keep the door open. I mean, it's an open door policy. I've always worked that way. We have good conversations. Sometimes they're hard conversations. They need to happen. But if the player knows that you have his best interest at heart, I think it opens up a lot of, the gray area disappears. We know we care. They know we care about them. We're going to keep the door open as we always did, and we're just going to be honest with them. Listen, I have no secret plays in my game. Like, I have no secret plays. It is what it is. We're going to be honest. We're going to tell the truth, and that's what they expect. NHL players, elite professionals, that's what they expect. They want to know the truth, but they want to have a conversation. And why? Why am I doing this wrong? Well, this is why, and how can we fix it? We need to have a plan to fix the issue. So it's going to be constant. But our main job is to service the client, if I can put it this way, making sure that we provide to the players all the tools necessary, physically, mentally, systems, for them to succeed.
Go to Mark Scheig, second row right.
Hey, Pascal, Mark Scheig from the Hockey Writers. How did the team approach you about the job, and when did you know that you were getting the job?
Jarmo pulled me aside, and we spoke in Traverse City. I mean, we know each other for quite some time now, so it was a pretty quick conversation.
And you obviously went through the interview process here as well, where you could have been selected over the summer. Just what stands out about Columbus that makes it a special place for you?
Oh, well, how much time do you have? I love this city. I fell in love with Columbus first day I arrived there, but I'm getting to know the city a little bit more now after 2 years. But I remember I've received some calls. Paul Maurice lived there for a year, I believe, and he said, this is a great city. I've had lots of people that know about the city told me this is a great city, but until you experience it yourself, you don't know. This is a great city. I was amazed by the fans last year showing up. They care about their team. I think the facility is great. As a coach, having the two rinks in the same building makes a huge difference. Everything about it is, for me, is fantastic. The location of the city compared to the other teams. My family in Montreal, my parents, not too far. I mean, this is a great city, and that's one thing that we intend to do. I mean, we want to put Columbus on the map a little bit more, making sure that we're recognized, because the market of Columbus is amazing. I truly believe that.
Go to Nicole Kraft, second row left.
Hi, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm Nicole Kraft with the Associated Press. JD and Jarmo both said they learned a lot from this, and I'm curious what you learned from this experience that you've now gone through to get to this point.
Well, things change quick, and what I've learned is just what we're gonna do in the next few days is what prepared me. Sometimes you do things a certain way and you're trying to do the right thing and you're not sure where it's going. And then first thing you know is you're put in a position that you've been dreaming your whole life. And what I've learned is if you do the things the proper way and you do it for the right reason with the right intentions, you're ready when the opportunity is presented, and that's how I feel today.
Clay Hall, first row right.
Pascal, when did you speak to the team as a group for the first time?
Briefly this morning after Yarmo.
And you sense, because you've been here, you feel acceptance right away?
I do.
You do?
That's no doubt.
Did you feel you had to apologize as others did, or it's time to turn the page?
Well, for me as a coach, it's just let's focus on today and tomorrow. If I do something wrong, I will apologize. Trust me. But today was let's go. Sorry about this, what's happening. I'm part of the organization. I'm telling you, it was a hard few days for all of us. It really was. But our job is to making sure that that's taken care of, and let's go.
We've got time for a couple more. Go to Brian Hedger, center back.
Pascal, I'm wondering, there's the last few years, a lot goes around about younger players and how it might be different to coach them than it used to be, or harder or something. I know you have an extensive history of coaching with younger players at the junior level, in AHL, trying to help them. I'm wondering how important you think that will be and how much you can lean on that with what's probably going to be another younger team.
I know that's the perception, but I don't think it's necessarily, and I appreciate the question. What I do is I try to get to know the people I work with. And whether you're 18 years old or 30 years old, you're an individual with different needs and a different perception and a different brain. So I'm trying to understand how they function and adjust according to them and try to be the best coach for them. Because I think leadership, it's all about empowering people. And how do you do that is you get to know them, what they're good at, and push that forward. I don't care about age, to be honest with you. Yes, we do have younger players. If you're a hockey player, you're a hockey player. And some guys mature later in their life, and some guys mature earlier in their hockey life. It's all different. But I think being able to understand first, make a plan, execute the plan, reevaluate the plan, and it's like a circle. And that's what I do. That's what we're going to do with our players, making sure that we have the right plan for the players, but it starts with a good understanding of who they are. We have some younger players, but they're good players. Our organization did an amazing job at drafting a lot of good players. So the future is really exciting for the Blue Jackets. I truly believe that. And that's why this opportunity is also so exciting. Not only I love the city of Columbus, my family and I, but the team and the people. And I'm a lucky man. I've been lucky my whole life. I've met tremendous people, and I'm still in that position. I'm going to be able to work with the people I really enjoy and truly have a lot of faith in and confidence in, and people that are doing it for the right reasons.
Okay, last one, we'll go to Kobe Meyer, center.
Thanks, Pascal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You talk about the process, and you said it brings wins. Around here, there's been a lot of losing. So how do you stick with the process and convince the fans who show up when the team is in last place? How do you convince them to continue sticking with the process even if the wins don't come right away?
I like it. I do. I've had that conversation. Jared Bull lives here. He's lived there. He's played for the team. He wore the Blue Jacket jersey. He's bleeding Blue Jacket. You know what I mean? Like he's a Blue Jacket. And we talked about the fans, and we were saying how amazed we were with the people supporting our team in the fifth line. And I know our marketing people, they're doing an amazing job, kinds of stuff going on. But what we realized is if this team works hard and compete, they will support us. And that's what we need to do. We need to compete. There's no other way to win hockey games anyway. If you don't have that, you don't have anything. So we're going to compete. We're going to be, and they're going to see it. I mean, words are cheap. I get it. But when they see us out there, they'll see it. We're going to compete. We're going to work hard. We're going to be structured. And they'll see that the team is improving. The goal is to win as many hockey games as possible to make the playoffs. And from there, who knows what's going to happen. So that's what we're going to try to do. There's nothing I can say today that can convince anyone. I want them to come here and watch us. That's how we're going to convince them.
Great. Thanks, Pazzi.